picks up her mail at the Hamilton Township Post Office, has also been diagnosed with the skin form of anthrax. She works in the same building as New Jersey Representative Chris Smith, and now his office is also being examined. In Florida, a cleanup crew is decontaminating Palm Beach County's main mail processing facility while it stays open. But in Washington, 2 more postal facilities have been closed after anthrax spores were discovered.
It's very upsetting to me. I just don't think that my work environment is safe anymore.
And now word that the anthrax-tainted letters sent to Senate Majority Leader Tom Daschle contain 2 grams of anthrax. That amounts to more than 2 billion spores. Live in New York City, I'm Gretchen Carlson. Now back to you.
Gretchen, thanks very much for your update.
Well, here in Connecticut, Governor Rowland has ordered security measures stepped up at potential terrorist targets around the state. Included are the Millstone and Old Connecticut Yankee power plants, the U.S. Navy base in New London, and electric boat in Groton. Channel 3's Kim Fettig joins us live near the Millstone plants with the very latest. Kim?
Tasha, within minutes of talking to Tom Ridge, Governor Rowland began concentrating on areas like this at the Millstone power plant. As America's on alert, strong words from the governor tonight. He says, quote, "I will do whatever it takes to protect this state." Trooper 1 will now be patrolling Connecticut's skies 24 hours a day. While on the ground, National Guard troops have been deployed to the state's nuclear power plants. Security unlike Connecticut has ever seen as the governor responds to new threats on the United States.
We are at maximum security in terms of all resources that we have available based on the threat.
The governor is reassessing airport security. The entire state police force is on call 24 hours a day, and the Office of Emergency Management will be staffed round the clock until further notice.
It's an uncertain, unknown danger from an unknown enemy.
With a threat so general, the governor continues focusing on southeastern Connecticut with its many resources, including Millstone Power Plant, where the company and the community has already absorbed some of the cost and pressure of new security.
We're not sacrificing other community public safety in order to support the security at Millstone.
As the governor answers a call from Washington over new threats, he's issuing his own call, reassuring the people of Connecticut.
This is all new ground for everybody, and you know, I get the bigger questions I get are, should I go to Washington? Should I go here? Should I travel? Should I go out trick-or-treating? My answer is go on living your lives. We can't stand back and be totally afraid of everything that we do.
Today, Senate Majority Leader George Jepsen proposed new bioterrorism legislation that would crack down on any people with hoaxes or things of that nature that were going on a couple of weeks ago. He hopes that this may come up during special session. Tasha, back to you.
Channel 3's Kim Fettig tonight. Thanks, Kim. Well, the Connecticut National Guard is playing a major role in the state's security plan. The Guard is now helping to staff the state's Emergency Operations Center 24 hours a day. They're among about 100 Guard members who were activated to patrol the state's airports and power plants. And tonight, Governor Rowland says that he expects to call it more of them very soon.
An anthrax scare today sends more than 1,000 students home from the Griswold Middle School Senior High School complex, and beginning tomorrow, they'll have a much later 10 a.m. start with no lunch period. The complex was evacuated this morning after a mysterious white powder was found inside a new box of coffee packets in the cafeteria. Now, a preliminary test was negative, but the caf will remain closed until other tests can be completed. The threat of anthrax-tainted mail has many people worried. Today, the FBI, the state police, and other government leaders gathered to talk about prevention and protection. Channel 3's John Moroney joins us live in Hartford with that story. John.
Well, Al, it's a brave new world for law enforcement. Anthrax scares and the war on terrorism are forcing everyone, especially the U.S. Postal Service, to take a second look at the way they respond to and handle emergencies.
We learn every day and we get a little better, and I think the public health issues, public safety issues are evolving.
As emergency response crews race from one anthrax scare to another, state and federal officials meeting in Meriden this morning said the best weapon in the fight against terrorism is common sense.
Listen, when your kid has Halloween candy and there's a broken pixie stick in there, this is not a biological terrorism. This is confectionery sugar, and if you're not sure, throw it out.
The Post Office, FBI, and state police took part in a biohazard response seminar at the State Police Academy. They agree the last several weeks of anthrax scares have taught them how to better deal with the problem and possible threat from toxic spores.
People are at a heightened state of alert, and every bit of dust or anything that looks abnormal, people are now calling the emergency services, police, or fire.
The post office in Connecticut has dealt with more than 100 anthrax scares in recent weeks. Postal customers, commercial and residential, are being urged to keep an eye for suspicious letters and packages. Here's some of the things to look for: an unknown or unfamiliar sender, return addresses that are not legitimate, and items marked personal or confidential.
No one should be bringing any mail leaking powder or covered with powder back to a police station, a fire station, or a post office. That needs to be isolated at the point that it's detected and call the local authorities.
Now, state labs have tested more than 300 substances for anthrax. They have all turned up negative. What they have found is that these substances tend to turn out to be food, things like confectionery sugar and non-dairy creamer. Tasha, Al, back to you.
Channel 3's John Moroney tonight. Thanks, John.
The state of Connecticut, by the way, has set up a special website with all sorts of important information in the wake of the September 11th terrorist attacks. This includes everything from the warnings about anthrax to Halloween safety and even how to donate money to various relief efforts. To get there, just log on to our Channel 3 website at WFSB.com and then click on Connecticut Safety.
Well, the heightened state of alert around the country is impacting traditional Halloween festivities in one Connecticut community. In West Haven, parents are being encouraged to think twice before sending their kids out trick-or-treating. Channel 3 Shoreline Bureau Chief Shari Sadeh has that story.
The West Haven school superintendent sent this letter out to parents last week, urging them to keep their kids home this Halloween. We spoke with parents of students who attend this local elementary school. Some are following the superintendent's advice, but others are still planning to let their kids go trick-or-treating this year.
Hard to tell your kids no, that they can't go trick-or-treating.
Marilyn Hill says she's not letting terrorist threats keep her kids from enjoying Halloween, even if school officials think she's taking a risk. Marilyn's not alone.
I'm not going to take trick-or-treating away from her. I'm just going to take her to family, friends, the normal. I can't deprive her of that.
I'm not going to keep them in. I don't see why the kids have to suffer for what was going on. So I'm going to let them go out.
Other parents are heeding the superintendent's warning.
I think it's a good decision to keep the kids in this year. We will stay at home, we share candies among ourselves, and that's how we do it this year.
We're keeping our children home. We're throwing a party. A couple of the mothers here, we're getting together, throwing a party for the kids and keeping them home, not taking the risk.
West Haven Mayor Richard Borer agrees that safety is the #1 concern this Halloween, but thinks the superintendent's letter may have gone too far.
The terrorists are winning if we're all going to stay home. They might have bombed us at home, but that doesn't mean we have to stay home for any type of activity.
The annual Savin Rock Elementary School Halloween Parade is still being held this year, but parents tell us kids will not be allowed to wear masks, and parents who attend can't wear costumes so that everyone will be easy to recognize. In West Haven, Shari Sadeh, Channel 3 Eyewitness News.
The West Haven school superintendent did not return any of our calls today. Shari also says school officials at several West Haven public schools would not comment on the letter sent home to parents.
Connecticut researchers report a breakthrough in developing a vaccine against the West Nile virus.
That's next at 6, plus Miles has the forecast.
Oh, it's a very cool forecast for tonight. If you can get through tonight, we've got some very mild weather for the end of the week. I'll tell you all about it in just a few minutes.
Diabetes cases are exploding, and awareness of this is into energy. If left untreated, it can lead to a number of complications, including stroke, blindness, and kidney failure. It didn't take Richard long to realize he needed to do something about it.
I saw what it could do to somebody close to us in the family, and I said, hey, here's my opportunity now. I'm not going to let that happen to me.
Richard started out with medication to control his diabetes, but says he just didn't feel good and couldn't get used to it. He soon found out he could control his diabetes not with medication, but with his diet. In 3 months, Richard lost almost 50 pounds and is keeping his disease in check.
Unfortunately, I'm sad to say that only a small percentage of our patients are able to be treated that way. But if people were able to more aggressively pursue good nutrition and weight loss with exercise, we would likely be able to treat more effectively a greater percentage of our patients.
Dr. William Pettit says only 5% of the hospital's patients are currently being treated with diet and exercise. But he's hoping with greater initiative, that number will go up to 50%. And Richard hopes other diabetics can enjoy the new life he's found.
I've never had this kind of energy.
You can find out more about type 2 diabetes by logging onto our website at WFSB.com and clicking on HealthBEAT. I'm Ellie Pai Hong, Channel 3 Eyewitness News.
And tomorrow, Ellie shows us a new device that allows diabetics to check their blood sugar levels without pricking their finger.
Well, stay tuned now. We're going to have the very latest on the Halloween weather outlook next at 6.
Plus, golfing for a great cause today in Hartford. We'll be right back.
Tomorrow morning on Eyewitness News starting at 5.
This is Ron, and he lost about 125 pounds in a year, and so can you. See how he did it as my series Wait No More begins on Channel 3 Eyewitness News.
If you're bored with your job, it may be time to make a switch. Learn what things you can do before you leap into a brand new career. Wake up with Channel 3 for continuing coverage of America on Guard, plus time-saver traffic and weather on the 3.
Tomorrow morning on Eyewitness News starting at 5. Connecticut's news station. Now, your Doppler 3000 weather with Miles Muzio.
Chilly one tonight, no doubt about that. Put an extra log on the fire. It's going to be cold tonight as we've got cold, clear, calm conditions, the big 3Z. Well, here's the forecast first. As we go into tonight, you'll notice it's going to be chilly. It just looks chilly out there, and so does that cold steel. It's going to really be cold tonight. Temperatures dropping down into the 20s overnight with very dry air and clear skies and big old moon out there. And along the shoreline, look for temperatures to slip into the 30s. It'll be in the 50s this evening, but again, clear skies, the winds drop off, and it does get cold. And I'll show you right now the current conditions outside, 52 degrees, but the dew point is 13. That's 16% humidity. Winds out of the northeast, fairly light temperatures. Still in the, whoa, down to 38 now. This just happened. Flash. New news. Down to 38 at Salisbury, we're in the 30s there and 50s in the interior, and the dew points are down into the teens, so very dry conditions. This is how low the temperature could go, but the dew points are going to come up before that happens. Let's look at the regional satellite shots, and shows that we've got clear skies all over the place. Here are your clear skies. A few clouds out to the west. Temperatures in the 40s, down into the 30s now at Burlington. The dew points very low, into the single digits in some cases. Now look at this. We've got some moisture moving across. Oh, I think I see a little bit of pink right there across southern Ontario. That could be some sleet. No sleet in our forecast, but it's not too far away, as you can see. We've got a warm front here, which is going to be moving up, and these clouds will come in probably later tomorrow. Temperatures right now into the 40s, as you can see. And for the Halloween forecast, mostly cloudy skies tomorrow with a few sprinkles mid-evening. Temperatures are going to be in the mid-40s, and highs tomorrow in the 40s, and then a big warm-up. You can see all these 70s out here. Look for, by Thursday, we're talking much, much warmer air as we go into November. Here's the forecast for tonight. Look for clear skies. Very cold in the really cold spots, upper teens along the shoreline, right around freezing. Most of us will be in the 20s. And for tomorrow, sunshine to start, clouds to end the day, and a few evening sprinkles, too. A high temperature of 44 to 50, and much warmer, almost 20 degrees warmer on Thursday and Friday. We're flirting with 70 degrees. No complaints about that, I think.
No, I don't think so.
Right. Thanks very much, Miles. Well, it was a great day to be on the golf course today, and that was a good news for organizers of the Connecticut State Police Troop H Long Drive Championship. It was held today in Hartford's Goodwin Park. Now, all the money raised will go to the victims of the September 11th attacks. We are told more than 100 golfers showed up, and they raised more than $3,000.
They wouldn't raise much with one of my drives, that's for sure. But now, Joe, on the other hand.
You and I have experienced those long drive contests. They are not fun at all. Hey, time to talk some World Series. They may be down 0-2 in the series, but there is reason for the Yankees to be confident. It's called Roger Clemens, and he's back. Michael Jordan has left the blackjack table. Now it's center court at Madison Square Garden. Plus,
tomorrow on Eyewitness News at 6. For many diabetics, the pain of a daily blood test has become a way of life. Until now, on the HealthBEAT, see how to do the test without the discomfort. Tomorrow on Eyewitness News at 6. So many men suddenly struggling to care for their children alone.
Every time I look at her, you know, I'm looking at my wife.
The World Trade Center widowers. Watch the next Inside Edition. Tonight at 7 on Channel 3.
You are my heroes.
A JAG exclusive. We're on the set with the stars. Then Gwyneth Paltrow had the controversy over this picture.
I was tricked.
Next ET.
Tonight at 7:30 on Channel 3.
Roger Clemens won 20 of his first 21 games this season, but the problem for the Yankees, the last two. The Rocket needs to get the Yanks out of a hole. It's Clemens, who's been bothered by that hamstring injury against Arizona's Brian Anderson, Game 3 of the World Series.
Enjoy the challenges. I know if I'm gonna, if I'm gonna hurt the team, which in this case, I'm not, because my body feels really good.
You know, he's someone that we have a lot of confidence in. He has a lot of confidence in himself, and hopefully he can go out there and pitch well for us.
Michael Jordan's preseason parade is over in 1 hour. He will be playing a regular season game again. Take a look at Jordan and his Wizards arriving for the first day back at work. They held their shoot-around at Madison Square Garden today. Many feel playing in New York will bring out the best in Mike.
I love playing here. I think, it's just called the Mecca of basketball, so obviously if I want to make a comeback, this is probably the best place to try to do it, and I look forward to the challenge, actually.
Michael Jordan is already familiar with making the big comeback as a retired sports superstar. Today we visited with one of the all-time comeback kids. Sugar Ray Leonard was here at Broadcast House this afternoon. The former world champ has become a boxing promoter. In fact, he's putting on a nationally televised card this weekend at Foxwoods. With 4 retirement comebacks, Sugar Ray can relate to Michael Jordan.
I miss the competition. I miss beating the odds. And that's why I can relate to Michael Jordan. You know, he's coming back not because of the money, but because it's a certain taste, a certain smell, a certain feel that words cannot describe, Eric. Because it's inexplicable for most people. But when you live that life, when you've done it all your life, it keeps you alive.
Does that not say it all right there?
He's charismatic as ever, isn't he?
Sugar Ray is always the best. We had a nice visit with him here at Channel 3 today, but that's what it's all about. It keeps you alive. Michael Jordan, one of the ultimate competitors, he still has that fire inside of him. We will see what happens tonight. What will he do? 20, 30, 40 points? There's people saying that he's going to go nuts tonight and score 40 points against the Knicks.
I wouldn't be
By the way,
surprised.
Hartford's Marcus Camby not playing. He's starting the year injured.
Oh, really?
But the big story, Michael Jordan, the World Series, New York, the place to be tonight.
What a night. Get the popcorn.
Got a quick look at the forecast now?
Oh, well, it's going to be chilly tonight. Look for temperatures to get down into the 20s generally, teens in some cold spots, and 30s right along the shoreline. And in New York City for the game tonight, clear skies. Temperatures will be in the 30s before it's all over.
You don't think it'll be a rain problem tomorrow night, do you?
There could be a few sprinkles, yes.
Just sprinkle. I mean,
Just
for the World Series.
No big problem.
Thanks for watching tonight.
More on the Night Beat at 11.
Tonight on Eyewitness News NightBEAT at 11. Their job is to protect you and your family from a fire, but these Connecticut firefighters now have a new role. In the story behind the story, Channel 3's Dennis House goes one-on-one with these rescue workers who have the grim task of representing our state at the funerals of their fallen comrades who lost their lives in the World Trade Center disaster. Tonight on Eyewitness News NightBEAT at 11, Connecticut's news station.